News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. Here's your closing bell for this Tuesday on Wall Street, where stocks extended gains. Oil prices and 10-year Treasury yields fell amid optimism for an interim deal in Iran focused on the Strait of Hormuz. We're going to get into that just ahead. But first, let's bring you the closing numbers. We do it each day here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 gained 136 points. That's about 1.75%. It is also the first record high for the S&P since June. NASDAQ gained 671 points, more than 2.5%, and the Dow jumped more than 1.7%, about 907 points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.62% and the 2-year yield at 4.19%. The Philadelphia Semiconductor Index gained about 7%, led by Broadcom, which jumped nearly 7% in regular trading. SpaceX reported revenue for the second quarter, beating the average analyst estimate by a wide margin, reporting $7.8 billion. The company also reported an operating loss of $1.26 billion from its AI business, and that was better than expected. SpaceX shares are slightly higher in after-hours trading. SpaceX also announced on social media just before the closing bell that it's partnering with NVIDIA to design the StarMind AI-1 satellite compute payload. NVIDIA shares gained about 2.5% in the regular session. Paramount Skydance posted a surprise surge in second quarter profits, with cost cutting from its merger last year continuing to pay off. Paramount shares up 2% in after-hours trading. Turning now to the latest in the Middle East, Qatar says a proposal for an interim deal focused on the Strait of Hormuz has been drafted, with American and Iranian officials sounding hopeful about an agreement to reopen the waterway. Diplomats say Iran is considering allowing European nations to remove mines from the Strait of Hormuz. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told CNBC he expects a deal soon.
I think there is a chance we may have a deal today or tomorrow to open the strait and move towards a more normalized position in this conflict.
Oil slumped on Bessent's comments. WTI dropped to less than $76 a barrel. Brent crude less than $80 a barrel. Brent has not been that low since mid-July. The Justice Department has sent election monitors to 4 Michigan cities as the state holds a closely watched Senate primary. Veda Partners co-founder Henrietta Trey's says a lot of issues are driving voters to the polls.
I think tariffs are a huge story. I think the auto sector is a huge story. And really, those auto manufacturers have to look at the fact that the president's agenda that they voted for has caused them to be, in Michigan, the state with one of the highest unemployment rates in the nation.
Henrietta Trey's of Veda Partners on Bloomberg Surveillance. Primary elections are also underway today in Virginia, Kansas, Missouri, and Washington State. L.A. County fire officials say the 2025 Eaton fire in Los Angeles was caused by Southern California Edison equipment. The agency said in a statement that electrical arcing in an out-of-service tower caused the fire, which took a month to extinguish, and 19 people were killed. Palantir Technology shares jumped by the most in almost 16 months after that company boosted full-year revenue and income forecasts and described commercial demand for its data analytics tools as otherworldly. Shares of Palantir gained 29% in regular trading. And the Trump administration is hosting AI companies at the White House to discuss a new U.S. framework for conducting voluntary safety tests of AI models. OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic are among the developers attending. Anthropic has struck a deal for computing capacity from Volta Infra Holdings. It's a relatively new infrastructure startup. The deal is valued at $10 billion, and that agreement should run for 6 years. On Capitol Hill, the Senate Judiciary Committee has voted to advance Todd Blanche's bid to become the next Attorney General. Blanche's nomination now heads to the full Senate. 2 Republican holdouts, Senators John Cornyn and Tom Tillis, voted to support Blanche's nomination after he killed the president's payout fund in writing. Senator Cornyn.
A roughly $1.8 billion weaponization fund is dead. And of course, I expect them to live up to that in any future litigation.
Ranking Democrat Dick Durbin said the deal could easily be undone by President Trump.
Simply his word is not enough, not even for some of my Republican friends. And the Cop Beaters Fund can easily be revived with a new order from the Department of Justice 15 minutes after Mr. Blanche is confirmed as Attorney General. The political escapade of the last week has made it clearer than ever that Todd Blanche has no business serving as our nation's chief law enforcement officer.
A sweeping audit immunity plan for the president, his sons, and the Trump Organization also remains in place, just with some new parameters. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris, and this is Bloomberg.